Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
For the Record. 1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Orlando, soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Monday, the 27th day of May 2024, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle. Please, please observe the rules of the road. Remember that the life you save may just be your own. See an article in today's Cayman Compass talking about an accident on Saturday night on Eastern Avenue and I think somewhere in the junction of Schoolhouse Road and Eastern Avenue, and how some of the persons, at least they quote one particular individual who expressed his frustration at almost being hit, but also his frustration that so many accidents are taking place, road accidents, vehicular accidents are taking place in the Cayman Islands, and questioning whether or not we are properly addressing the issue. And I will say, we are not properly addressing it because we are not putting all of our efforts behind it. From what I can discern, there may be fragmented efforts to address the number of vehicular accidents, the number of errant drivers, the number of incompetent drivers on our road, but it is not a concerted and sustained effort. And until that happens, where we get everyone working together, the road safety people, the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, the policy decisions coming from our elected leaders, we're going to see more and more of this happening. So we need to address the issue. It has already become too late. So that is my tirade in relation to vehicular accidents, bad driving on our roads as well. So, folks, for those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday. And, of course, we will bring you the birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola, and by Superior Auto. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune. Call them at 949-9570 or 525-9571. For those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing as well. Those of you who are ill and you're either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we do wish you a speedy recovery as well. So folks, want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as they traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Those functional numbers, 949-8037, 949-6990, or WhatsApp number 925-3261. Please join us. Of course, waiting to take your calls is none other than the old gal. That beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson, waiting to take your calls as well. And this morning we have no guests in the studio. So those of you, if you want to pontificate a little bit more, you probably will get a better opportunity to do that today than when, than when we have guests in the studio. Because when we have guests in the studio, then we really have to limit the length of time that we do allow people to call. And sometimes the phone lines may be closed for a period of time as well for that to happen, especially when we do have paying guests in our studio. They're paying for the time that they're on, so we really have to accede to their request. What I get frustrated about, though, is when we get politicians coming on and saying we don't want to take any phone calls. Or even when we get civil servants coming on and saying, oh, we don't want to take phone calls. You are a public servant. You must make yourselves accessible to the people, to the public. Yes, I can understand that you don't want to be subjected to ridicule. You don't want to be accused of anything, but that's what the moderator, the host of the show, is there for, to ensure that you're insulated from any type of aggressive behavior by our callers. But politicians and public servants, civil servants, when you're on public radio station, you must make yourself accessible to the people. Yes, some of our callers are long-winded and we have to cut them short at times, and I have no compunction whatsoever in terms of doing that when I have to, and I try to do it, as what word can I use there? I try to do it as graciously, as possible, but sometimes that is required as well. So I just wanted to express that, Yes, people get nervous when they come on air if it's for the first time, and we try to make them as relaxed as possible. But when you're a politician, when you are a public servant, you must make yourself accessible to the people of the Cayman Islands. So let's look at the birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And Superior Auto. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune. Call them at 949-9570 or 9571. So we're looking, we want to give belated happy birthday greetings to Miss Teresita De Silva, who celebrated her birthday on Sunday, the 26th of May. Miss Teresita, that's a beautiful name, Teresita De Silva. Also, we see that Mr. David C. Black is celebrating his birthday today. And then Miss Tiffany Rankin Law, she will be celebrating her birthday tomorrow, the 28th of May. And birthday greetings in advance are coming from your parents, Miss Virginia Rankin and Mr. Casdale Rankin, siblings, Mark and family, Tracy, Melissa, and many, many more blessings coming from your entire family. And they want to point out to you that you make them all proud as well. So again, Miss Tiffany Rankin Law celebrating her birthday tomorrow. Her parents, Miss Virginia, Mr. Casdale, siblings Mark and Tracy, and Melissa and family, all wishing her a happy birthday tomorrow as well. Of course, if you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other significant occasion, please let us know right here on Radio Cayman for the record. And we will give them a shout out, which is proudly brought to you. Those shout outs are brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout out. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And Superior Auto. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune. Call them at 949-9570 or 525-9571. We're going to take that commercial break now, folks. Please stay tuned. We do have a caller. We will take that caller as soon as we return from our commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Captain Charles Christopher Bush, 1864 to 1942. Captain Charles Christopher Bush was known to be one of the best turtle fishing pilots around the Nicaraguan coast, especially at man-of-war Keys. He was the owner of 2 vessels, the Goldfish and the Diamond, and part owner of the Express, as well as captain. He employed a lot of local seamen who all liked to work on his vessels because of his honesty. After the Diamond was lost in the 1932 hurricane, Captain Bush was always in demand by other vessel owners for his skills in catching turtle. He was in partnership with J.S. Webster and in charge of what is known today as the Webster's Estate and Smith Barcadere, Smith Cove, for more than 25 years. Colleagues urged him to acquire it by quiet possession, but he refused to do so. Just before his death, he notified Mr. Webster that he wanted to give it back, and he did. Captain Bush was married to Annie Elizabeth Nee Radon and the father of 10 children.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Magic and Wine with David Menken, Friday and Saturday, June 14th and 15th. 2 evenings of whimsical summer excitement. The elixir of magic and wine. Join David Menken, the international champion of magic, for an intimate evening of fine wine and world-class magical artistry. The Ballroom at C. Alyssa, Al and Melissa Thompson's residence, Magic and Wine, a Rotary Central fundraising event. Get your tickets through eventpro.ky. Attendees must be 18 years and over. Audio and video recording restrictions apply. The magic of Rotary.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
This summer, discover adventure, magic, culture, nature, and so much more with Cayman Airways. Airfares are now on sale for travel this summer. Visit New York, Denver, Los Angeles, Miami, Tampa, Kingston, Montego Bay, Panama, Havana, and La Ceiba. But hurry, sale ends June 1st. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or book online at CaymanAirways.com. Make this your best summer yet with Cayman Airways.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
This is For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We do have a caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. I almost went sleep on you.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good, good. I can't help but agree with you this morning in regards to the government and government officials coming on to the radio station and doesn't want to be taking any calls from us. I think that is so disrespectful to a degree. You know, I can see you closing off for a few minutes, but I think we have the right to come on and say something in regards to what they may be talking about. You know, I think it's really, really, really disrespectful to the island and to the people of the island. So, you know, do some of the things that they do or want to do when it comes to the station, not accepting no calls. But anyhow, You need to talk about that some more, and they can't talk when they come to us on the radio. They should just go and paste what they're going to paste on Facebook or wherever they're going to paste it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But, I going off the appointments. I want to give you a couple of things that people can call in and talk in regards about it. You ready?
Yes.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's very hot right now, and the kids in school, and especially the primary school children in the preschools. I just wondering what kind of precaution they're taking with the kids going outside for PE and the lunch break and the morning break and so forth. How are they being protected? Because I know that some of these grounds here is wide open, and and it's very hot out there. In the heat. These kids shouldn't be at 10 degrees. So I just wondering what precaution they're taking, especially I would say in the government schools.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Another
Good point.
one is OC. I was on the road this weekend with my cousin, and OC the buildings that is going up left, right, and center. I just wonder if CUC can really pull the electricity for some of the buildings that are going down on this island, and if CUC can pull electricity for all these hotels that is going down, and apartment, condos, and private home, and whatever. Is why can't we get a better rate with our electricity? That's another one. Also, I understand they're looking into doing an expansion, or whatever you want to call it, on Walker's Road. I mean, Walker's Road, OC. The road there right now, everybody's front door is in Walker's Road.
So they're talking about widening it?
Oh, like they're out there doing surveying the area and so forth, and going to go taking people's property, buying it, leasing it, owning it, whatever. I'm not sure, but some of those places up there, it's going to be very difficult to expand on Walker's Road, and I just hope that our God in mind of no 2 lanes going, 2 lanes coming, because let me tell you something. That will be a detrimental road. We're talking about all the other roads, but Walker's Road, I just thought they would do some capping. When I spoke to Mr. Ebanks on your show some time ago, he said it was nothing in the making to a degree in regards. Now they're out there surveying it now and talking about expanding their Walker's Road. But anyhow, see if someone will call and talk about it. I'm going to let you go, but 2 more things. The drugstores and HSA, with these prescriptions being dropped off, it's for an elder person that tell you got to pick it up the next day, OC. The HSA on Smith Road, 95% of the time is one person at the window taking care of you, and you got sometimes all 8 and 10 people inside of that room. They're waiting to be pick up prescription, and even when it's dropping off prescription, there's no one at the window. You got to be there calling or standing and waiting.
But I'm going to interrupt you very quickly for a second. So, because so many people express the fact that they had such good experiences, at that facility because it was separate from the others. I myself, when I've gone there to get my prescription for my eyes, I have had a good experience in the past. Now, I haven't been there in a long time because, it's picked up for me. But I'm really, really surprised to hear that because everyone's experience in the past was good. So it sounds as if they're slackening off a little bit based on what you're saying.
Yes, it has changed. It has changed for the worse.
Wow.
It changed tremendously. I went there yesterday, money drop on my cousin's prescription. If that place didn't have over 10 people in it, didn't have one person in it. I came back, the lady can tell me that I can't get it until Sunday. I said, Miss, my cousin is 80 years old. She needs her prescription today, please. About an hour and a half.
Okay. And what was the other thing? You said you had 2 more?
Yeah. And they just changed that there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's not about the drugstore. They're saying now that if you bring something in after 4 o'clock, you can't get it until tomorrow. I mean, or see how can we accommodate the people on this island if we don't have the businesses and the staff to do these prescriptions for people, especially the seniors, and HSA, Smith Road, need to look into seriously.
Okay.
But I'll leave you with that.
Thank you.
So hopefully someone will call and talk about it.
Thank you very much. Okay, Miss Susan, we have about, 2 minutes? We want to try the WhatsApp caller. At least we can hear what they have to say initially. And if they want to call back after the 8 o'clock news, then they can call back. Oh, okay. They hung up. Okay, very quickly. I want to say congratulations to the Cayman Islands Scout Association. I want to say congratulations to the Lions and the project coordinator, Miss Liz Smith. First of all, I should declare an interest because I'm involved in scouting in the Cayman Islands. But on Saturday afternoon, they officially launched the Cayman Islands Scout Association website, and it was officially brought online by Akela Wellington. Most of you know her as Miss Theoline Wellington or Miss Tit Tit. She has been involved in scouting since 1923, I think she told me, 1923, and she retired from scouting in 2018. So she has been involved in scouting that long. So, we had the big launch on Saturday afternoon on Middle Road at the Scout headquarters. So again, we want to say thank you to Ms. Liz Smith from the Lions, the overseas technical team that were involved, Alaya Dunstan, overseas technical team. Then we had Alaya Dunstan, Michael Russell, Ted Taylor, our task force here, Gregory Black, Samuel White, Joel Black, Chad Hernandez, Khalik Rickfield, Jonathan Anderson, Paula Erskine, Rasen Farquharson, and our executive director, Mr. Winston Hale, as well. So this team, the overseas team, and Ms. Liz Smith, they worked with them, worked on this. But what was unique about this was that our scouters, were involved as well, had input, did a lot of writing for the website as well. So we want to say kudos. Thank you very much, Ms. Liz Smith, your overseas technical team, Ms. Aliyah Dunstan, Michael Russell, Tate Taylor, and all of our local scouters as well. Folks, with that, we've reached the top of the hour, the 8 o'clock news. When we return, the phone lines will remain open. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Government publishes 3 new bills. The Firearm Amendment Bill will outline fresh definitions for firearms, including privately made firearms and prohibited weapons. It will also provide for offenses related to the importation of prohibited devices and weapons, add a ban on the manufacture of firearms and the alteration or conversion of firearms. Finally, it will empower the police commissioner to collect ballistic signature and information relating to the firearms in the Cayman Islands. The long-awaited pharmacy bill has also been published. published, it will repeal and replace the 1979 and 1991 Pharmacy Acts. The bill, if passed by MPs in Parliament, will regulate the importation, manufacture, wholesale dispensing, and prescribing of medicine. And finally, the Perpetuities Amendment Bill will provide for the disapplication of the rule against perpetuities and correct typographical errors. A perpetuity in finance is a continuous stream of cash flow, such as payments from an annuity. You can find all three bills online at gov.ky/gazettes. Some of Cayman's corals are relocated as local temperatures spike. The Department of Environment says, quote, a brutal summer for corals is forecasted, bringing more record-breaking high sea temperatures and consequently coral bleaching. This past week, the DOE's Coral Reef Management Team relocated what might be some of the last remaining live staghorn coral fragments in Grand Cayman to a deeper nursery site. These corals will spend the forecasted hot summer in their deeper and cooler home under the careful watch of the DOE team. Coral fragments that show the most resilience may eventually be brought into the DOE Coral Lab later this year to be spawned. And raising awareness and funds, the goal of Saturday night's Rotary Central Gala for the Alex Panton Foundation. Radio Cayman's April Cummings spoke with Rotary Central President Ali Spears about the event, its purpose, and why she has been such a strong advocate for the work of the APF.
So Rotary puts this on. This will be the 4th annual gala in honor of the Alex Panton Foundation. And we've been doing this because we've noticed that, mental health and mental wellness is something that wasn't really discussed in the community, and it wasn't discussed worldwide. But since APF has opened its doors, it has really made a huge difference, and it's broken down those barriers, and it's created a safe space for people to come out and talk about issues they're struggling with, and we feel that's very important. So Rotary's really wanted to give back to APF from one NPO to another.
What inspired you to do this? Because you apparently have been a really strong advocate for that.
I just, I did struggle. I still struggle a lot with anxiety and depression, and it was something that started very early on. And if Cayman had something like APF years ago, it may have saved a lot of lives, and it may have saved a lot of people from feeling like they couldn't open up about these things. It is something that's very near and dear to my heart, but it's also something that I think has really needed to be brought to the forefront.
Keynote speaker was Nick Stewart, a Caymanian business model and entrepreneur who also won the Caribbean Next Top Model competition. She shared her story of overcoming adversity, challenging stereotypes, and the power of having a strong support network when living with anxiety. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. Qatar says the latest Israeli airstrike on Rafah could hinder mediation efforts to reach a ceasefire and hostage exchange deal in Gaza. Palestinian officials say at least 40 people were killed when fires broke out in a nearby refugee camp. There's been a substantial increase in the number of Israelis applying for German citizenship since the Hamas attack last October. Almost 7,000 Israelis applied for German passports in the first 4 months of this year. The number of people feared dead in a landslide in Papua New Guinea has risen significantly. Officials now estimate that 2,000 people were buried while asleep in their houses. So far, only 5 bodies have been pulled from the rubble. Police in India have arrested a doctor and the owner of an unlicensed clinic in Delhi, where 7 babies died in a fire. They say it was operating without fire extinguishers or emergency exits. That's the latest world news from the BBC.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
The 23rd Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Tranquility, is here. Presented by the New Self-Help Foundation, Sunday, June 30th at the Harkwell Theater. Awesome performances by Rico Rolando.
Here we go again, there's something in this water.
Dream Chasers, Radiance Dance Studio, UCCI Dance Company, Centerpoint Dance Studio, Cayman National Dance Company, and more. Hosted by Anika Connolly and Lloyd Barker. Part of the proceeds from the Talent Exposition will go to support the training program of the arts. Tickets are available from the #1 shoe shop and Winner's Circle Sports. Prepaid tickets $15 or $20 at the gate. The 2024 Talent Exposition of the Arts, Tranquility, Sunday, 30th June at the Harkwell Theater. Gates open at 5. Show starts at 6. Get your tickets today.
This summer, discover adventure, magic, culture, nature, and so much more with Cayman Airways. Airfares are now on sale for travel this summer. Visit New York, Denver, Los Angeles, Miami, Tampa, Kingston, Montego Bay, Panama, Havana, and La Ceiba. But hurry, sale ends June 1st. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or book online at CaymanAirways.com. Make this your best summer yet with Cayman Airways.
Attention parents and guardians. Registration for Cayman Islands government schools for the 2024 to 2025 academic year closes on June 30th. By law, all children turning 5 by August 31st must be enrolled in an approved government, private, or homeschooling program. Don't miss out. Visit schools.edu.ky/registration to learn more and secure a spot for your child today. This message is brought to you from the Department of Education Services.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 86 degrees. Relative humidity is 83%. The barometric pressure is 29.95 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east at 11 knots. Overnight low temperature was 81 degrees. Synopsis indicate a slack pressure gradient across the northwest Caribbean will continue to support light winds and smooth seas across the Cayman area during the next few days. Satellite images show a few low-level clouds over the Cayman area. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today and tonight, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise to the low 90s today with a heat index near 105 degrees Fahrenheit and temperatures falling to the upper 70s tonight. Your winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Next high tide will be this morning at 11:44, low tide this evening at 10 minutes past 6. The sun will set this evening at 6:57 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:48. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Wednesday morning, with a slight increase in the chance of cloudiness and showers thereafter as a tropical wave becomes stationary over Jamaica. That's the very latest on your weather report.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Britcade. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning. Let's take a look at what's happening on the roads. Slow-moving traffic on Cool Road heading to Georgetown. And coming off of the Esterly Tibbetts Highway, traffic is moving along steadily Eastern Avenue and Godfrey Nixon Way moving along moderately in both directions. On the Linford Pearson Highway, traffic is steady, and steady traffic coming off of Agnes Way. Off of Bobby Thompson Way, steady traffic, and on Huldah Avenue as well. Looking towards the West Bay 4-way stop, flowing pretty good, as well as on Owen Roberts Drive. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moving on moderately in both directions. Now, if you've seen any accidents, please give us a call here at Radio Cuba 949-6990. Edward Street moving along pretty good. Shedden Road, moderate flow of traffic in both directions. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Have a good morning and be safe out there.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Public health is the science and art of preventing disease, prolonging life, and promoting health through the organized efforts of society. Environmental health, mental health, and physical health are all public health. Cayman's new national health strategy aims to protect and promote the nation's public health outcomes, but to do this, we need to hear from you. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is now accepting feedback about healthcare in Cayman on mohfeedback@gov.ky or on gov.ky/health-wellness. Deadline is May 31st. Your opinion matters.
Time to sign up for the 4th Annual Enviro Walk Cayman. Taking place on Sunday, June 9th at Safe Haven, this 5K walk run aims to bring awareness to environmental issues. Since 2019, Enviro Walk has encouraged participants to protect our environment. Enviro Walk is a fundraiser for Girl Power, Miss World, and Miss Supranational Cayman Islands, and donates to an organization who the participants feel is helping with environmental causes. Early bird pricing available till May 15th. Register at Cayman Active or Tickets Plus. See you on June 9th at Safe Haven. For more info, contact EnviroWalkCayman@gmail.com.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio, so the phone lines are open. 949-8037, 949-6990, WhatsApp number 925-3261 as well. Just going to touch very briefly again on the Scout launch of our website. And I want to say also, thanks to all of those parents who showed up as well. And also thank you for having confidence in the Scouting Association in the Cayman Islands that you would want to have your child or your children involved in the movement as well. We have a storied and rich history here in the Cayman Islands of scouting, which started in the early mid 1900s, as well. And we know what scouting in those days did for our young men, sometimes even young boys who went to sea, as well. When they got on board those ships, they didn't have to learn how to tie a bolden or a sheep shank or other knots. They knew it. They didn't have to learn how to splice rope or even to splice cables. Why? Because they learned it in scouting, as well. Now, these days, some of those skills may not be necessary, but scouting has tried to keep up with the times and getting involved in more activities that are relevant in today's world as well. So again, kudos to all of those parents who seek to involve their children, in scouting as well. And even today, we have, and I don't have permission to call the person's name, but we have a very high-ranking officer in the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service who came up through scouting, and his mother was involved in, and still is involved in the scouting movement as well. So again, kudos out there. If you have an interest in enrolling your child in scouting, we do have units in schools, in some churches, as well. You can now go online and find on our website the Cayman Islands Scouts Association's website to get details as well. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, O.C. I just want to pick up on something that I heard one of your callers. I'm not sure whether it's first call or whatever. And it was reference to the heat.
Yes.
Experiencing here.
Mm-hmm.
And she brought up the subject of schools exposure to this school children out on the playfields all in the middle of the morning or whatever time. And my mind flashed back to, and this had to be between 1945, 46, and 1954 when I departed Cayman. But they used to issue us salt tablets. You know, I'm not sure. I guess the logic back in those days, and I guess it still applies. That, you know, with all the perspiration that we were doing, we were expelling all of our. Well, I guess I forget what that. But anyway.
Yeah, some of the minerals from your body you lose them. The potassium and other vitamins, huh?
Yeah, and remembering just being out on the playfield down there at Town Hall for half an hour. I think that's what the recess was, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and coming back in and sitting on those hard benches, sweat pouring down our faces, pouring down our backs. And I think, and I have not heard anything mentioned in all of the discussions that's been going around about this aspect of protecting the young folks.
Yeah. You know, a few weeks ago, there was this huge uproar at with the situation at Clifton Hunter when the AC system went out there as well. And it seems when you become completely dependent and reliant on AC systems and you don't have any other alternative, it can be catastrophic.
It can be, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out, and maybe somebody listening and everything.
Okay, what about the? She also mentioned, with all of the building that is taking place, the expansion, whether or not CUC has the capacity, to continue to supply electricity, and whether or not we should see the rates going down as a result of the expanded number of customers that CUC's experiencing as well. But of course, we see now where the trend is towards alternative sources of energy as well. Any concerns with that? Actually, I was going to share with my audience an article from the Trade Winds newspaper talking about, I think it was the 10th of May 1966, but I'll find either the 10th or the 20th of May when CUC, Caribbean Utilities, transitioned, from being government owned to being privately owned as well. Any comments on electricity rates and alternative energy?
Well, I think what you described at the beginning there about the logic of that I think is basically what's considered good logic in the economies of scale. If you're selling more, there is a good possibility you might be able to reduce, your baseline prices of what you're charging. But I'm not sure how close that logic is followed within this jurisdiction. And when you look back at supplying the energy, I mean, if you look at all of the users that probably will be coming online, I'd say within the next year, 8 months. I don't know. I mean, you see a lot of infrastructure upgrading as far as the distribution of electricity all over the island. So I suppose that they feel that they have the capacity, or they're going to ramp up the capacity to handle it all. I mean, but you also see some of the big developments, huge generators being installed in their facility. So, but I guess the only thing that's probably going to drive down rates a little bit, maybe if they got the oil prices down to maybe a little bit lesser than what they are today, because I think they say that the general petroleum industry can live very well with oil between somewhere $45 and $55, $65 a barrel. And I believe, I don't know if I've heard the price this morning, but it's somewhere up in, I guess, the mid-80s right now.
Yes.
You think of what would that be if they got it down to 65%? That's what 20%. If you could realize a 10 to 15, 18, 19% reduction on your electricity bill, then that would be a great help in this economic time where all of us are struggling.
Yeah. But what about the move to away from fossil fuels? There are still persons out there who are denying global warming deniers, who believe that it isn't man-made at all. But do you believe that the transition from fossil fuels, which will take years, decades probably, for that to take place, whether or not it will happen in time for us to at least, if not reverse the situation, at least stem the tide?
Well, I think to generate the amount of energy you take to just displace.
You're breaking up there, Lux.
I said to generate the level of energy that the Cayman Islands community presently consumes through solar power, it'll take acres and acres and acres of solar cells. Of course, they're getting more efficient, so forth and so on. But it'll take a long while, I think, to make a dent in it. But again, you got to think, solar only works when the sun is shining, and sometimes you can have some really, I guess you could say, shady days.
Yeah, long periods of So
it's, but I think there was another point in your question there that, what you said about global warming. Well, see, let me tell you something. I don't all the way totally subscribe to this global warming thing, because when I think about, and this is about, when we were building one of the first buildings along.
We're not hearing you. We're getting an echo, but very, very, very low down. I'm not sure if there's anything that you can do on that end to make some adjustments. Maybe the speakerphone.
Yeah, let me just. I was saying is that better?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah. When I think back but it had to be 1952, 53, when they were building the first project along 7 Mile Beach, and it was the project, as far as I can remember, and when people say fathom, it was what's now the DART project, which was the West Indian Club, I think, to begin with. Or it might have been, I think that was the original name. But during the war years, 1942 through 45, I think most people know that we had a Navy base here, U.S. Navy base here. And they had heavy equipment, backholders, and whatever they were. Those days, they dug huge trenches along the crest of the beach. In other words, that's where the sea came up to meet the vegetation.
The high water mark?
Yeah, vegetation line. Dug it just on the land side, just over that, as defensive positions. Now, these trenches, to my estimation, was about 60 feet long and maybe 15, 20 feet wide. And they were about 6 to 8 feet deep. And where they wanted to put this building, was one of these big trenches. And they hired a bunch of us. Well, I was in school at the time. I only worked 7 days, 5 days actually. Made 35 shillings, 7 shillings. And I bought a pig with it.
Wow.
Anyway, when I think of the heat that I experienced on those 7 days, hauling sand in a sand basket, as we call it, sand basket, from the beach to these trenches, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I don't think that what I am experiencing now, and I go quite a bit, is any more pronounced than what I felt back then. Now, it probably, I think it is more pronounced in places as to where we have a lot of glass, asphalt, to where, it comes up in your face and it's kind of coagulated in areas. But that's my thoughts on it. And, I guess a lot of folks are making big money and creating a lot of stir on the climate dilemma, or what's being caused. But a lot of it, I think, is being caused by man-made developments.
Yeah, no question.
If you walk, now I'm not sure, because I haven't I spent much time walking on the beaches in the last year or two. But years ago, when you walked on that 7 Mile beach in the middle of the day in that white sand, you better believe it was hot.
Reflecting the heat, yes, yeah.
The sun was so hot at times that you couldn't walk on it barefoot.
Yep.
I mean, usually if we went up along the beaches looking cocoa plums or whatever it was, serving in our birthday suits or whatever, we would go up in a boat to where when you got hot, you jump in the water and swim around.
Cool off, yes. All right, Lux, we have to go to a commercial break, but thanks for engaging, with me. Thank you very much. We do have another caller on hold. We will take that caller, 2 callers. We will take those callers as soon as we return. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
This summer, discover adventure, magic, culture, nature, and so much more with Cayman Airways. Airfares are now on sale for travel this summer. Visit New York, Denver, Los Angeles, Miami, Tampa, Kingston, Montego Bay, Panama, Havana, and La Ceiba. But hurry, sale ends June 1st. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or book online at CaymanAirways.com. Make this your best summer yet with Cayman Airways.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before with more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered. This is For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have two callers on hold, one WhatsApp message as well. The WhatsApp message says, good morning. I noticed that the various government MPs have not been on radio lately. It seems that since the previous premier was ousted, there seems to be less of their presence and criticism of the various issues. But a lot of the issues, such as moving forward with the immigration point system proposal, reforms on the traffic situation, and continued rise in work permits, are still outstanding. We'll talk more about that later on, as well. Don't forget now, our elected officials, they are politicians at the end of the day. Some may say, I'm really not a politician, but once you get into that position, you have to be political and you have to also strategize as well. Let's grab our caller. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Not bad. Global warming, now renamed climate change, is the biggest hoax that Al Gore has ever perpetrated on mankind.
Okay.
And what's actually happening with us regarding petroleum is this idea that we can decarbonize the world. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, because carbon is essential for life. In fact, I'm about to start eating some carbon right now. The thing is that when the current president of the U.S. was running for office, he stood up and he said, "You elect me, I'm going to shut down the petroleum industry."
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds great to idiots, but it doesn't sound great to me. And I'll tell you why. You see, the vast majority of our energy, the most efficient form of energy right now is fossil fuel, which is why it's used so much.
When you say efficient, what do you mean by that?
How much you can get out of, how much energy you get out of it when you consume it, right? So ideally, Cayman should when we're talking about the base load for our national electrical grid, that should be nuclear. But the reason why nuclear is so expensive is because stupid governments just make it that way through stupid policy. It doesn't have to be as expensive as it is. It's most of the world's problems is done to us by dumb politicians, really stupid politicians. And when you stand up and you say you're going to shut down the petroleum industry, And then you turn around and wonder why fuel cost is getting so high. Let me explain to you why it's so high. If you were the CEO of a petroleum company doing exploration and refining, and you went to your shareholders and you said, well, in order for us to keep pace with the world's demand for fuel, we need to build X number of refineries over the next named number of decades. So we need to raise a couple of $100 billion to do so. But I need to notify you as shareholders that I can't guarantee you'll get your money back because there's this dumb politician called Biden who wants to shut down our industry. So I can't promise you'll get your money back. What do you think is going to happen to the price of fuel?
But at the same time, while you're being critical of Biden, he didn't just say that he was going to affect the oil and fuel fossil industry, but he has also put other viable alternatives on the table. So it's not like he's going to shut it down and you're going to end up with nothing.
Like what?
Huh?
Like what?
Cleaner sources of energy. I'm not going to get into it. I'm just creating that balance because you're sort of concentrating on one point and ignoring the other point. So I'm just creating that balance to it. What I'm saying is he wasn't going to leave a void. And
he is leaving a void. And the reason why he's leaving a void is that what you need to keep in mind is that in order to do alternative energy in the way it ought to be done, is the world needs a new type of battery. That's the problem that we're having right now. We do not have it. What we have is politicians forcing the world to go in a direction that it can't possibly go in yet. I'm not saying we won't get there, but we don't have the battery to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, the minerals that are needed to make the batteries for electrification in the way that politicians are talking about it, the world does not have that much mineral. So all you're going to do is force yourself into a situation that you can't afford to be in. And what's going to happen down the road is people are going to realize that they're painting themselves in a corner. And without a base load that is more affordable, you cannot go 100% electric. It is not possible. Your electricity bill will go up. That is right now. I'm not saying in a couple of decades that won't change. I'm saying that right now you can't do it. It's not possible. And so if you keep pushing the petroleum industry and regulating and squeezing and thinking that, okay, well, we're gonna come up with cleaner energy, that's great. That's a great aspiration. But we don't have it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So forcing somebody to do something that we cannot do right this minute is foolish.
Okay. Caller, I'm going to ask you to leave us there. I'm going to try to grab another caller before we go to our commercial break. Caller, are you there? Okay, we have lost that caller. It's a good opportunity to share something with you. As I said earlier, Caribbean Utilities Company, when it was acquired, and remember they were, you could buy shares in CUC at that point in time. I think it was $1 per share or something like that. But here is a statement from Mr. Robert M. O'Dare, who was the managing director of Caribbean Utilities Company Limited. The future of Grand Cayman is our future. We promise you that Caribbean Utilities Company Limited is here to stay. We will be a good citizen and a good neighbor, we expect to do always more than our part to bring substantial growth and prosperity to these islands. I say these things with all sincerity. That was Mr. Robert Adair in 1966 as well. So, CUC, at that time, the two local directors of CUC were the late Mr. Warren Connolly and the late T.W. Farrington as well. They were elected as directors of that company. And the CUC has stayed basically true to this, even though we see things changing now with more advanced technology. Their power plant now relying more on electronics. CUC placed the emphasis that it would continue to use local labor, and the article speaks about the operating personnel employed by the government electricity company, because remember now, it was owned by government before. Those employed by the government undertaken will continue in their jobs when operations of Grand Cayman's power facilities is taken over, and the date was the 10th of May, 1966, by the Caribbean Utilities Company Limited, officials of the company told the Tradewinds newspaper. In addition, local labor will be employed insofar as possible, or when the new firm begins installation of a new 500 kilowatt generator or generating unit at the central power plant, and launching work on other projects which will improve and extend the distribution system, along with increasing the capabilities of the power facilities. General improvements in the electric service on the island is an immediate goal, the company official said. Stockholders of the firm, which was organized largely by business and professional men from the United States who have made vacation visits to Grand Cayman, recently elected 6 additional members of the board of directors to serve in that capacity, along with officers of the company. So here we had people who came and visited the Cayman Islands on a regular basis, saw an opportunity where something was necessary, could look into that crystal ball and see the potential for investment in the Cayman Islands, and they acquired the company from the Cayman Islands government. So the added directors at that time were Mr. A.D. Langford, Mr. Alex Harrington, Mr. James Anders, all residents of Lexington, Kentucky, business and businessmen in that city. They have visited Grand Cayman and have become familiar with the island's power needs. Honorable T.W. Farrington and Warren Connolly and Eldon Cockernell will, all residents of the Cayman Islands, they were chosen as officers, as well. Time for us to take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Public health is the science and art of preventing disease, prolonging life, and promoting health through the organized efforts of society. Environmental health, mental health, and physical health are all public health. Cayman's new national health strategy aims to protect and promote the nation's public health outcomes, but to do this, we need to hear from you. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is now accepting feedback about healthcare in Cayman on mohfeedback@gov.ky or on gov.ky/health-wellness. Deadline is May 31st. Your opinion matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Ms. Susan, any callers on hold? No callers on hold. So we're going to go back to our callers' questions that she posed. And the one she had concern and had questions as to what precautions are being taken to protect our school children from the heat, especially, when they are outdoors, as well. And I would imagine that those in charge of the schools, the teachers, when it comes to outdoor activities, that they will choose a particular time to do that. Bear in mind that when we were youngsters, like or one of our callers spoke about as well, those days it was hot. It was hot as well. But you were young. You didn't feel the heat as much. And I don't believe that you hear as many young people complaining or talking about the heat than you hear older persons as well. Our bodies just after so many decades, you will feel the difference. As far as I mentioned the fact that when the air conditioning system was out at Clifton Hunter, what sort of dilemma it placed on educators. The school was closed, on occasion for a day or so, as well. Well, I remember my school days when I attended Miss Rachel Seymour, or when she got married, Rachel Forbes School. It was held under a tree. My mother, when she taught on Shedden Road, right where Artillery Square is now, her classes held under a tree. When I attended Miss Kippy's school, also known as Miss Muriel Sims, and featured on her Cayman vignettes, her school was held under a tree. She had huge guinea trees in her yard, one tamarind tree outside of on the other side of the road, going towards Mr. Lucas Bernard's house. Those of you who remember those days, you can relate to what I'm saying now as well. But all of my schooling, they were all under a tree until I went to Dobson Hall. And Dobson Hall, that was a school building built by Mr. James Dobson. Wasn't intended for a school initially. It was, for scouts, for scouting in the Cayman Islands, And after that, then you had the big school, which was further down nearer to Emsley Memorial Church, before we then went over to where is now Eastern Avenue and Georgetown Primary School as well. So we didn't have air conditioning in those days, but we certainly had a shade area to be taught where classes were conducted as well. Of course, no one really wants to go back to those days, but I would encourage you also, don't find yourself stuck inside of an apartment or a house all day. Get outside, find a shady area. For those of you who are still able to purchase land in the Cayman Islands, you Caymanians who are still able to purchase land in the Cayman Islands, do not destroy all of the vegetation that is there. Save your trees. And if you are going to plant trees that you can benefit from at the end of the day. So a tree can provide you with shade and at the same time provide you with sustenance, as well. Plant mango trees, plant avocado trees, plant guinea trees, plant almond trees, plant grape trees, something that you can survive on, because, folks, as the population of the world grows, the competition for food is going to become greater and greater and greater. I see Miss Susan on the phone lines. Do we have a caller, Miss Susan? Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, Ossie, am I on?
Yes, you are, Billy. Good morning. How are you?
Thanks. You see, I had been told that it would take 6 months, and I said I'll still hold on. So, this is very welcome. Now, a couple of things, Ossie. First thing, I agree with that person who sent in a message to say that it seems that the government is quiet. Because me and a friend of mine in Cayman, we're talking about this very thing sometime last week. And the word that we used was that the country seems to be on autopilot. Because you've had people from departments and other places, to discuss things, and I think that's good. But people want to hear from ministers, especially as the other person mentioned. There are these immigration issues which are really burning issues, and people want to hear about them. And you will remember that last year they had said that the Steve's committee, the report will be out about September, but it's about, I don't know how many months now, 6 months since then, we haven't heard anything. And that's really what I wanted to call about, because, you see, another news outlet has reported that government is considering rollover for government for government entities. Now I understand. The way the article is written is that there's a survey which has been put out to find out how people feel about it. For example, they are trying to find out whether to apply that rollover in government to be applied to even people who are already in government, or whether it should apply to those who are recruited thereafter. Now, the first thing about that is, one, it's very interesting. This could have been done 20 years ago when rollover was introduced in 2004, when Mr. McCarthy was still Chief Secretary. And at that time, it was announced, but then withdrawn. And if this is the way government in Cayman is going to do things, this is not very efficient. You wait for 20 years. That's when you see that the mistake you made was terrible. When people now are crying out the traffic and this and that, and you've granted thousands and thousands of status and eased out your own people, and now 20 years after now you say, well, we're thinking of introducing it. But even then, we are thinking it should only apply to people who come in after that, after it is introduced. So in other words, it won't take effect until after about 8 or 9 years. by that time the takeover of Cayman will be complete.
Complete,
If
yeah.
it is not
Yes.
already complete as it is.
But how do you address making the legislation retroactive?
Precisely, and that's what I was coming to. You've just given me the cue there. You see, retroactivity is retrospectivity rather is very much misunderstood. For example, if government today was to say that this new law is going to apply to everybody, including those who have already been employed in government, there would be no legal reason, constitutional reason, human rights reason why that will not be effective.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a lot of people will tell you, oh, no, but it's retrospective. No, it's not retrospective, because there is no, and there are there's a lot of case law from Commonwealth countries about this.
Okay.
There is no legitimate expectation that the law will not change on an issue like this, because when you really think of it, a lot of laws actually do apply like this. They will today say, okay, you hold a liquor license, okay, but we are introducing new requirements.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say, no, I will continue on the old ones because I expected that things would not change. No, there's no legitimate expectation. That is why, even if, for example, you were to say today that you will only give status to people by descent or through marriage, or that you will only give status to ensure that the birth rate is not being exceeded. Even if you were to say, for example, that even those who have already applied, that the new law will apply to them, that would be legal. You can take that all the way to the European Court of Human Rights. They are going to tell you, no, because there is no expectation that the law is going to change. Again, there's a lot of case law on this.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see government should not use even these human rights aspects as an excuse not to do these things, and that's why I've been sort of like trying to beat this drum. Now,
Billy, I'm going to interrupt you there because we're going to go to headline news, but I'm going to ask you to hold on, and I also want you to address the whole issue of grandfathering in as well. What about those persons, or how does the grandfather clause apply in these particular instances as well? Folks, top of the hour, headline news. When we return, the conversation will continue. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
We are Radio Cayman.
Covering Cayman Right, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
You're invited to a special workshop tonight by the Cayman Drama Society to test the waters for putting on the show Into the Heights. You'll get an opportunity to audition with singing, dancing, and acting from the show itself. The workshop is from 7 to 9 at the Prospect Playhouse, and you can register at cds.ky. At least 45 people have been killed, including women and children, in an Israeli airstrike on a camp for displaced Palestinians in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. That's according to the Hamas-run health ministry. Videos from the scene in the Tal al-Sultan area on Sunday night showed a large explosion and intense fires burning. The Israel Defense Force says it had killed 2 senior Hamas officials and that it was reviewing reports that civilians were harmed. At least 18 people were killed as tornadoes and storms tore across central areas of the U.S., destroying homes and cutting power to hundreds of thousands. 7 people were killed in northern Texas, 8 in Arkansas, 2 in Oklahoma, and 1 in Kentucky. Scores more were injured, and almost 500,000 were without electricity across several states on Sunday. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said more than a third of all countries in his state were now subject to a disaster declaration. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
HSA's Urgent Care Clinic is now open 7 days per week to serve you better. Visit our dedicated team at Urgent Care, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and weekends and public holidays, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. No appointment necessary. If you are experiencing non-life-threatening symptoms and conditions, such as the cold and flu, sprains and cuts, earaches, nausea and vomiting, visit Urgent Care's walk-in clinic at the main entrance of the Georgetown Hospital, now open every day. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We still have a caller on hold. Billy, you still there?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so explain to us now when new legislation is adopted and there's a savings clause in there. That is something that is deliberately put in to save, or does it have to be there automatically in terms of those persons who previously qualified?
Okay, in terms of grandfathering, let me pick it up from what I had said about how government, if it wants, whatever it introduces now, it can say it will apply to everybody, whether you have been in Cayman before, whether you have even have an application pending. The government, so long as it makes it clear in the law that will be the case, then there's no problem. Because if the law doesn't make it clear that will be the case, there is a risk that the court is going to say, you see, the courts operate on the basis that unless a law is retroactive, unless it is expressly retroactive, they would tend to move away from that. They'll say, no, unless it's very clear that it is retroactive, we won't apply it that way.
Okay.
So the government has to make double sure that if it wants it to apply in all these categories I've stated, it must make it very clear that it will apply to these categories. Now, as a matter of policy, when you do the transitional provision, you will then say, okay, do we want this to apply very strictly in all categories? You can say yes. Or you can say, for example, well, when we introduce this new legislation, it will not apply to those people who have been in Cayman for, say, 6 years.
Okay.
Because at that point you are saying, well, they've been here for some time. I know legally speaking we can do it, but is it fair at a moral level? So you might say, well, look, Zolover will apply to government, but it won't apply to those people who have been here for 6 years or 7 years. Or you can say to those who have already applied. But that will be a policy decision that you can make and be put in the transitional provision.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very important that government should appreciate that which it can do legally, which is what I stated earlier, and that which it can do as a matter of policy.
Okay.
And I think that, I mean, let me try to conclude on this. As late as it is for them to do this, I think they need to understand the legalities of it, because there are always people in the private sector who are trying to mislead them. But I think if government does this, this is a very, very good thing. They should stop, in my view, OC, to try to punish people who have failed to pay PR fees. You see, PR is hard to get in Cayman. You have to be here for 8 years. You have to meet the point systems because it's not automatic. You have to pay PR fees for about 7 years after you get PR before you get started, and so on. And I think it is unfair for most of those people. Most of those, by the way, it is not because they don't want to pay. It's because they are unable to pay. I know a friend of mine who had PR revoked in his 14th year. And he had a child who was born in Cayman. Those should not be punished. If the government wants to deal with it late as it is, these are the legalities and the options that it has.
But my question there would be, how were they able to pay it when they were on a work permit? Because like I pointed out before, when you paying your PR fees or the ability to continue to work, unlike a work permit where the employer is obligated to pay all fees in relation to a work permit, I believe, and I feel reassured, in my belief that it is optional. Your employer can pay it, or you can pay it yourself. Now, many persons who obtain permanent residence, the majority of them remain in the job that they are in. Yes. So if they could pay those fees when they were on a work permit, why can't they then continue to pay them? There may be a strong argument for those persons who are working within the Cayman Islands government and obtain permanent residence. But again, as long as they continue to work for the Cayman Islands government, there's no applicable fee. So my question is, if they could pay it when they had work permits, why can't they pay it now that they have permanent residence? What's the difference?
Okay, the particular friend of mine I'm talking about, this is somebody I met during the Hurricane Ivan, was that he used to work for a local company. This is a guy, an engineer, UK qualified.
Mm-hmm.
And what he did, but he comes from the Caribbean. What happened in his case was that he used to work for this company, and then they gave him a severance package. And he thought it was good, so he got the package and bought a house. But after that, he couldn't get a job. Okay. He couldn't get a job, and he was now involved with a Caymanian lady, but because they were not married, he couldn't stay because of that. They revoked his PR. He had to go to the States. He's back in Cayman now, but probably it is because they are married or under a new work permit. But it does work very, very harshly to some of those people. I personally believe also that the Cayman PR is so valuable. I do not believe that if somebody can continue to pay those fees, that they will not pay and risk all that being taken away from it. Mm-hmm. Look at this guy. This guy had a kid who was born in Cayman, and so he was going to have to go back together with this child who knew nothing but Cayman is their home. So, in other words, deal with the fundamental problem. They should not punish these people who are failing to pay PR fees. I know there might be 5 or 10% who don't care, but I think that is not the rule generally.
Billy, I was told that it would be surprising to know some of the names that appeared on that list of persons who were delinquent in paying their PR work permit fees. It would surprise you to see some of the names that are on there. I was told.
Did they publish names?
No. But for persons who are aware of it, I have been told, and I haven't seen it, but I'm told that it was aware. But going back to, and I know you have to go, but going back to the politicians. Well, not being on air at one point in time, they were practical. The independent members were practically on every day. I would attribute the discipline that they're showing now to a certain extent, based on the leadership of the current premier, in terms of keeping them together, or even if they're not together, at least making it appear as if it is a cohesive unit. I would also attribute it to the fact that they are acting like independent members now and realize that, hey, I have to get myself re-elected as well. What is the best way to go about doing that? Do I try to rock the boat at this point in time, or do I stay in my corner and try to do as much as I can to impress the voters in the next election?
Well, also, you've just hit the nail on the head in this way, in the sense that as much as I think that government should have been communicating more, yes, I do believe in one or two individual cases, there have been ministers who have acted more or less as not partners. Like they've expressed a lot of personal views, which normally you would not express if you are a member of cabinet. Mm-hmm. And so the new premier has said, well, look, let's move together more as a cohesive unit. I think that aspect of it has to be loaded. I just feel that maybe it has been a little bit overdone. I think government needs to be able to get its ministers on a little more often, yes. But that aspect, I think it needed probably to be reined in. There were a little bit, one or two cases where they were talking too much, if you like.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Billy. I just want to say very quickly, we have another caller, but we're going to go to the commercial break. We're going to ask the caller not to hang up. People talk about kicking the can down the road, that politicians kick the can down the road. Remember when, in the olden days, when you couldn't afford a pair of shoes, or the only pair of shoes that you had, they were for Sunday school. When you kick a can down the road barefoot, you end up with buck toe. So, politicians, careful you don't end up with a buck toe when you kick the can down the road. Also, advice to those of our listeners who are still having challenges with our WhatsApp, with our WhatsApp, the app there. The suggestion is that you update your iOS on your iPhone as well as your Android phone. Try to update the iOS. That's some type of operating system. So the Radio Cayman app, not the WhatsApp, sorry, the Radio Cayman app, to access it, try updating your iOS on your iPhone and your Android phone as well. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to grab the next caller. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
This summer, discover adventure, magic, culture, nature, and so much more with Cayman Airways. Airfares are now on sale for travel this summer. Visit New York, Denver, Los Angeles, Miami, Tampa, Kingston, Montego Bay, Panama, Havana, and La Ceiba. But hurry, sale ends June 1st. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or book online at CaymanAirways.com. Make this your best summer yet with Cayman Airways.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the people's station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
The Council of Older Persons is proud to present the first Aging in the Cayman Islands Forum. This forum will be held on Saturday, 15th of June at Sir Vassal Johnson Hall at UCCI, and is free to the public and open to all ages. Registration will open at 8:30. Presenters and topics aim to truly reflect the needs of Caymanians and residents so we can all age with dignity. For more information, visit www.gov.ky/Older Persons Council.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. I want to thank the caller who's waiting for being so patient. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
I know. See, you know I'm not very patient.
But
good
thanks.
Morning. Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. Good morning.
I mean, need I say who this is?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. O.C., I just got in my vehicle and heard the discussion between you and Billy about PR and him saying that it's unfair to punish those who don't pay. Well, let me disabuse Billy for a little bit. Because, because I'm your friend does not necessarily mean that I can't speak facts and truth. And so I would say to Billy, who I consider a friend, not a lifelong friend, but a friend, that I think he needs to stick to the interpretation of law and move away from what policy should be in this country. And I know sometimes he speaks well and stuff, but I'm not being, I don't want to be disrespectful to him. Absolutely not. But, OC, the problem with the country is, in my view, is something I said a very long time ago and continues to beat that drum. Status should be reserved for descent and marriage only. Now, that carries us into a new realm of things about marriage, but that's something that needs to be enforced otherwise, okay? So I do not wish to engage in that at this time. Now, OC, you are right. The PR fees are equal to your last work permit fees, okay? And if you could pay them, I understand this thing about not getting jobs. They are now experiencing exactly what Caymanians are experiencing when they can't get jobs. So when Billy say that that's a very valuable thing, the PR, and they would never not pay the fees, well, they're in the same boat as other Caymanians, so they may want to reconsider whether they apply for it or not. Because now they can't get a job after becoming partial Caymanian. That's the problem in this country. Now, the other thing is, OC, 99% of the problem with PR is the employer. Here's what happens. When they work for someone, you remember that we had the thing called key employee, OC. When you work with someone, they consider them key employee. Under the law, it was there. It has since been removed. Or they do it themselves. So they, at the end of that 8-9 years, when they become eligible for applying for PR, the employer assists them and fights for them to get PR, only to find out as soon as they receive it, within a year, they gone out on their own to compete in the same business that they were in with their employer. Now, OC, anywhere else in the world can control their borders, but we, like Billy now getting to be too, do the Benson Ebanks thing, bless his soul, wear our hearts on our sleeves. You hear? That is the problem in this country. And if we cannot stop people from coming here to work, I do not propose that. I am saying there needs to be clear, it needs to be clearly understood, when you come to this country, you are leaving in 9 years on a rollover. That rollover was one of the best things happened to this country, but all of a sudden, your employer is applying for their employee to become resident. Oh, by the way, I noticed now...
I just want to correct you there. The employer doesn't initiate the residency program. It's the individual themselves.
Yeah, but the employer supports it. That's what I'm talking about.
Not necessarily. They may give them a reference letter or something like that, but it's really, I don't think it's that impactful.
I hear what you're saying, but it speaks to the value that person contributes to this community.
Yeah.
So let's be fair now.
But I can tell you, I can tell you this though. I can tell you this, that those persons who receive their PR and the company that they're working for really wants to continue to employ them, they do that. And not only do they do that, if they're sitting in a position that has a Regulation 6 on it, then they use the argument that the position is now filled, because remember, Regulation 6 is in relation to training Caymanian, identifying a Caymanian or a PR holder. So once the person gets PR, that Regulation 6 no longer applies to that particular position as long as they stay in that position. So the employers are using it to their advantage.
Yeah, and there it goes out the window.
Yeah.
And Caymanians who, that is where the glass ceiling starts getting a little thicker.
Mm-hmm.
And Caymanians are feeling disenfranchised, and rightly so. And I'm talking, I specifically speak of generational Caymanians. And it's sad. It's sad, but if this government is talking about reform as well, I hope they do something about it. I mean, a couple of things we did when we were there, which was no more Cayman status being issued by cabinet and whatnot. But, if we do not stem this now, we are going to have problems. And the people who come here can stay here. They can stay on work permit. Kuwait, why you don't go there? Why you don't go to Kuwait to work? You think you're going to become a resident or a citizen of Kuwait? No, you won't. But you go to America, you know what it takes to become a citizen? If you haven't applied for the one of political asylum and the likes, you know what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
You stay on work permit almost forever. You go to England, what do you think Brexit was? Of course that was the same thing. But all of a sudden England got imposed something upon us that we can't control our borders. Yeah, when we negotiated that constitution, provisions are in there that you cannot discriminate against any resident, citizen, whatever, except immigration and a number of others, you know? And so I'm wondering what our guys are sitting down doing and trying to make a mess of this by not employing that. So challenge it in the court. We need to do research to see what are the limits. And Bella was talking about you have 6 or 7 years, those within with exceptions on if we got stopped the case residency and whatnot. No, we did that in 2003-04. And what did it cost us? Tell me, what did it cost us? We have given out more PRs since 2004 than McKeever them did, which was 3,000. We have given out tens of thousands of PRs in this country and status as a result of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because of all those people who were in here at that time, and we gave the exceptions, I think it was 6 years or something like that. It was 5, 6 years, I can't remember. But as a result of that, there were people who then, all their families automatically get it. The other thing we need to stop doing in this country is grandparents. We need to stop grandparents from adopting their grandchildren. We need to stop that because that has a domino effect as well. But no, everybody wears their hearts on their sleeve and we have not speak fearlessly and say how they feel. Oh, well, and the problem with it is, OC, as you well know, all of us, including myself, including my family, are married to foreigners. So that one is okay, but the other one is not. But they won't speak. People will not speak.
Mm-hmm.
But what they do is they talk to people like you and I on the road, OC, and they express their grievances there, but they won't come publicly. They won't go to their representatives. They won't go out in the middle of the street and say, this has to stop. They won't do it. And it's time Caymanian got a little bit more courage and be like those in the 50s and 60s who stood up against this. For instance, you remember when all the men stood up against not serving black people at those hotels? You remember that, OC? Not wanting to serve locals? You remember the truckloads of people went down there by Garden Beach and TQ and all those? But it appears like we have retreated from any degree of courage in this country. But then when I speak up, then I want to upset the apple cart. Well, you know what? We got to pick out those sour apples and those rotten ones and get rid of them. And anyone who does not pay for their PR fees, the following year it's revoked. They must not be given any chance, Billy. If you're listening, that is my position. Thank God I'm there anymore with like minds so that we can deal with this. And thank God I won't be going back there. But you know, that doesn't mean for the purposes of these discussions that I can't say what I want to say. You know, I should admit to you, OC, and the public, that when they were moving Steve off the Stardust NPR board, they called me, wanting me to take the chairmanship. And I said to them, do you really want this? Do you really want me to be there? And because, everybody knows me, I'm going to offer my opinion on paper. And that would not be good for any government to have me on that board unless they follow some of the directions that the board puts out, because I know Steve got frustrated with that, and many others who go on those boards. But my thing is, if you're not going to follow it in the interest of the people of this country, then I'm going to expose it. They wouldn't want that, OC. That's not what people want. Sometimes you have to be brutally honest, OC, whether others like it or not, because I had to deal with the honesty, so someone else has to deal with them. And it's unfortunate that the politicians of today, and, you know, I respect them all, and, you know, I know how difficult this job is. I was there for 20 plus years. I know how difficult it is. I know what it is to make decisions that is going to affect this entire country, but sometimes you need to pull that heart off of your sleeve and, you know, make the decisions and let the chips fall where they may, because if you believe you're being reasonable, you're within reason on your decisions, then you should be proud to make that on behalf of the people of your country. And if you're not, then step aside. Let someone else do it.
I say to use two words: New Caledonia.
Well,
I say no more than that. I hope people are reading the news. I hope they see exactly what is going on over there, where the French Parliament now wanting to pass a law that says that those persons residing in New Caledonia will have the right to vote in New Caledonia. And we see what has taken place there. We know that the people of the Cayman Islands, they're not going to go to that extreme because we're too low-keyed. Well, if we don't take corrective action that doesn't require the kind of action that is being taken in New Caledonia, then we may, I don't know what we can do then.
Well, OC, let me say, you recall when we negotiated the new Constitution. OC, one of the things we did was extended that franchise to those with status. Remember, it was that you had to be naturalized.
Yes.
Before you could vote. So, and I should say to you, it was Alden who proposed that. And I'm not saying anything bad about Alden. I supported his view that we extended to those who were Caymanians. We extended it once, that's enough. Okay? Listen to me. People on work permit or permanent residency do not necessarily have a nexus entirely to this country. You hear what I tell you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, OC, you may say that who is prepared to take that stand if England brings that on. Now, let me put my hand in the air. You remember what I did, your Imperator, up there? Let me put my hand there. I may not have that much currency left in this country, but if it requires me to go out there alone for the future of this country, that needs to be stopped.
And
if it is proposed.
Yeah, and the UK has hinted that that is something that they want to see take place in the Cayman Islands, to expand the voting base in the Cayman Islands by allowing permit. They have said that before. Anyway, Mr. McLean, I want to thank you. Thank you very much. We've gone a little bit beyond our commercial break. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay my bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Our rich and diverse natural environment is one of our most important assets. Strong coral reefs are our first line of defense against intense storm waves. Healthy seagrass beds and mangrove forests provide a nursery for the sea creatures we depend on, while our native forests stimulate our rain cycles and help to control inland flooding. Economic resilience requires environmental resilience.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have about 35 or less than 35 minutes left in the show this morning. One of our listeners wrote and said, I agree with Mr. McLean. I would be ready to stand up and march for supporting the change to PR and status. And another person wrote and said, thanks, Mr. McLean, for those true words. We have to stop this PR and tell people that what took place in 2013, what took place in 2003, that means the status grant, is a drip in the bucket to what has happened since 2013 when the law changed, and it was the worst of Cayman as well. Okay. The person then says if they can't pay their PR, then they should leave. They have somewhere to go. If they don't have the money to pay PR, then what did we give them PR for? Sort of. We are building a social welfare island, and it is not for the indigenous Caymanians, but PR and status holders as well. Okay, we have 2 callers. Let's grab the first caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. The WhatsApp caller first. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Orrett.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Yes, I'm good. I'm just listening in on the show. I was listening a little earlier with the environmental thing about the carbon emissions and whatnot that we have in the world, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard about the recent topic that you was talking about, but I would like to touch on that a little bit. From what I understand and what I see going on the island that I concern between the subject is, right, like I'm no age to know what you guys know, but at the same time, I'm still of an age that I see what is happening now that it is affecting people like me and possibly the elders as well. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see this development that is going on in Cayman, I can tell you what, if it's going to be another 10 years, our lifespan is going to diminish very quick. It's going to go like from 80 to 60, 80 to 40 sometime, maybe, if we continue doing this type of development. I kid you not, sir. I don't know about these sustainability programs that they're doing in environmental impact assessment, right? But from what I see, common sense, logic, I went to school for 12 years. I never skipped a year, right? And actually, I added an extra year because I stayed back.
Okay,
one.
Good.
And what I understood, what was going on, is that they don't want us to understand what is going on. All right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, global warming, climate change, all the subject, everything adds into the whole topic today that I understand from what I've been picking up because I on and off on the radio,
Mm-hmm.
right? Listening. And you see, like beach development, all these new hotels, like the Hyatt, the new one that they're building, or
the Indigo,
whatever. Indigo.
Right next to.
No, I'm talking about the new one right there by the war.
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, as far as I know, that's supposed to be like some nature park, natural reserve kind of thing, right? They're not supposed to really be troubling that beach. And when I say troubling that beach, I mean anything on the shoreline. Even them iron shore rocks, talk about high water marks. That's how I look at it, because you see, them iron shore rocks, they got tide pools, they got life living in amongst them. Every single one of them, I go every day when I can. And listen, they gonna do some development down in them areas there that where I find it pretty disturbing that they're falsely advertising on the radio, whatever it is that they can advertise on social media. Mainly I see it, and no one not talking about it. No one is saying a word about this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
it is pure greed. It is pure greed in most instances. Not that they're trying to enhance the quality of life for people. It is just greed for a select few people who are seeking to make a profit off development.
Say about that, right, is development like that should be studied very, 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 because there's life there, sir. I know about it. I know all that beach. It comes and goes. You see where they want to make it a beach? That is going to affect our beaches that we have. And they know it. Soon, I hope people love to walk on the water because that's all they're going to be doing. You know?
Yep.
You know, because there's also apartments or condos next to it that they've already done suffering impact from this development, because I've seen it firsthand where there are tunnels under the foundation of wherever it is that they have the walls, and it's going underneath. So, and they're filling it up with crush and run. They're masking it up. I don't care who it is that it's gonna affect. It's destroying our island. The more that they do these things, and people here glorifying the ugliness that they're doing, I don't like it. This is destroying what we have left, that we can at least teach some of our children how to like our environment, to understand it. Right? This is from an indigenous Caymanian right now. So it's not like I just a regular little person. Right?
Got you.
So if they don't feel that Caymanians care about the environment, and only these big old organizations that are Planet Mind Growth, just to say that they can destroy a few more. All right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's grab the next caller before we go to our commercial break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O'Connor.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm thankful, very thankful. I have a concern. I am a Caymanian, born and bred. I try not to get involved in too much in this country, but I am a part of it, and I said if I'm going to continue making it my home, I am going to voice my opinion.
Yes, you have every right to do so.
It's no use of we getting together, 4 or 5 West Caymanians, and talking. I see in this country, with the immigration section, in our marriage officers, okay? Mr. Connor, let me tell you that if immigration do not put their head on their shoulders, we are going to have a place for nothing but crime. And this thing about 9 years, put it 5 years. Because these kind of qualities that we get in here is worse than us, Caymanians. Because if I don't have a piece of bread, I know what I have to do. If I know you got a bread, I can come honestly and say, I need a piece of bread. You got a piece you can give me? You say, sure, darling, yeah. It's just 2 slices. But them that is here today, we got them here on roll over, and they pick up our young women that is not all here mentally, physically, and carry them and get them married. Parents don't even know that their daughter is married. Go to the immigration and nothing is done about it. Nothing. Now he is here. I made to understand the little young woman is expecting. So he got all 2 feet in the door at one time. And the marriage officer that done that, the business and trade license for that section of their life should be canceled. Or I don't care who it is.
Now, is this young lady, and we're not going to get into names or anything like that, but is the young lady capable of understanding what she has entered into, what she has done? Because the reason I ask that is that if 2 willing partners go to the authorities and say, here I am now married to a foreign person, and I'm making the requisite application, be it residence and employment, right certificate, or whatever, there's very little that the authorities can do if that person shows up there and genuinely makes that say, here I am married to a foreign person. So that's why I asked that question.
This individual can't cook, can't clean. Then they got another woman on the side because they can carry a trend. And I know what I'm talking about, okay? I know what I'm talking about. They can give them $25 or rent a place, okay? But they're still out there homongering with their own time. That kind of thing has to stop. because he put one, then he can put another one for NAU. We have the government of today have to stand up, put their flat feet on the ground and say this foolishness has to stop. Same thing with the real estate. I am on the road all the time, and all I can see is people that is not from here come in here. They come from the country, Mr. Khan, and let me tell you, they haven't sold a peppermint candle for 5 cents in the United States or wherever they're from, but they come here qualified. And the little Caymanian that is entrusted into the real estate can't get a job because they're not going to no experience. How you can get experience if you don't have it in your heart to help a Caymanian, your own Caymanian?
Good point. Caller, I'm going to ask you to leave us there. We've gone beyond our commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
This summer, discover adventure, magic, culture, nature, and so much more with Cayman Airways. Airfares are now on sale for travel this summer. Visit New York, Denver, Los Angeles, Miami, Tampa, Kingston, Montego Bay, Panama, Havana, and La Ceiba. But hurry, sale ends June 1st. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or book online at CaymanAirways.com. Make this your best summer yet with Cayman Airways.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show. I have a few things that I need to cover, a few WhatsApp messages as well. I believe we do have a caller. We're going to try to accommodate that caller as soon as we get through all of these. So one person says that they're happy that the pressure is starting to heat up. The time is now, and I have also have permission to say that Kenneth Vernon Bryan is ready for the immigration reform that is needed. I have permission to say that as well. Another of our listeners pointed out that the previous caller, the lady, she's speaking the truth. The quality of the persons that we have coming in now is, leaves much to be desired. I'll use those words rather than what was sent to me. It leaves much to be desired. I think we should bear in mind that most of the persons who are coming here, they're coming here because there's an employer who has chosen to employ them. That employer may be the government of the Cayman Islands. That employer may be your next door neighbor. That employer may be a family member of yours, as well. Because it is only those companies that either have a local companies control license or a Caymanian-owned company that has the ability to apply for work permits for persons. Now, in the days gone by, in the 60s and the 70s, we had people coming here to the Cayman Islands, as well. But they came and they contributed. They stayed and they contributed. And as a result of their contribution, they also produced very productive citizens of the Cayman Islands as well. These days, and I'm not finding an excuse for anyone, but with all of the global pressures and the unrest that has taken place in other jurisdictions, we see people clamoring to come to the Cayman Islands. Those countries where their politicians do not take seriously and act responsibly in creating an environment where their nationals should thrive economically and otherwise, they're the ones who are running to our thriving community here in the Cayman Islands as well. But just bear in mind that they're not just coming here on their own. They're coming because someone has applied for a work permit for them or they are employed by the government of the Cayman Islands. In regards to the immigration, and we have to be careful when we talk about immigration authorities, they are governed by statute. They're governed by legislation. They can't do any more than the legislation allows them to do. Yes, we do have legislation that addresses marriages of convenience, but when you have two willing persons going into the authorities and say, I'm applying because this person is my spouse, how do you question that? If you're a marriage officer, two willing and able persons coming to be married, yes, there may be requirements that you should do certain hours of counseling and everything, else, but there's a limit to what the authorities could do. When I was in the immigration department, I always had this saying, and some people may have thought it was cheeky, and I never really said it publicly, but they don't come to you and ask your advice when they are getting married. When I say they, a Caymanian partner and a non-Caymanian partner. But as soon as the marriage hits a rocky situation, then they come to you and want you to get the person off the island. I always say they never ask you when they want to get married, but then they want you to take the responsibility afterwards, after they have made that decision as well. With those words, I just wanted to say also, I wanted to share with you, but I can do this, God willing, on Wednesday morning to share, with you the government release on the Premier's trip to the United Kingdom and the announcement of the deferral of UK OT strategy pending the UK general elections. Of course, you heard me right here on For the Record, and I don't really like to pat myself on the back. But as soon as I saw that the UK ministers had suspended their vacation and everything else, I knew that it was meant that a general election was going to be called. And I knew based on that fact that what was in the works in terms of the overseas territories and everything else will be put on hold now until after a general election. Just hopeful for us that Labour does not get in full control, because the Labour government in the UK is not good for the overseas territories. Let's grab the last caller. We have 3 minutes to converse with that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good. Quickly, I just want to confirm something that you had some guests on there last week regarding lands and the beaches that they were speaking about, and they were speaking about the Kim and Brock into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said on the other show, I don't want to call people outright liars, because that would be infringing on people's character and everything else. But I want to say that the information that they're giving is not correct. It's incorrect regarding beaches on Kim and Brock. Kim and Brock does not have 14 beaches. We have these labels that have been put out on the side of the road called beach access.
Mm-hmm.
When you see those and you attempt to go out there, you at your own risk. Those areas are dangerous places to go. You can slip down. You can get seriously hurt. They are not beaches.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did mention the fact that while it is showing beach access, that it may not always be sandy beach there, and then where there are hazards as well, that they usually have a sign indicating that is hazardous, like maybe no swimming and things of that nature as well. So they used beach in sort of like in a general sense, but not with the indication that every beach is a sandy beach.
Yeah, I understand that, but the signs that here on the Brock does not say no swimming. It just says beach access, and it have a swimming logo on it. It doesn't have a cross with a swimming logo. So people are thinking that they are beach access with swimming accessibility. No, it doesn't have no such thing. And that's what when I heard it, I just felt touched by it, because people know these things are wrong, and when we given these things, we don't want to put something out there commercial in Kim and Brock in a sense that it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the tourists come and wonder where these 14 beaches are, access to these, there's nothing there. We want to have 3 access beaches, and 2 of them are owned by a hotel, and or one was owned by a hotel, one is now owned by DART, I think, and the other one is man-made by Scott Development and the public beach. But we do not have nothing of such OC. So I just want to
now when they were there in the Brack, was any of this expressed to them in terms of to ensure that they corrected that? Because I believe that they had a public meeting in the Brack.
They might have, and I didn't heard about it, and I wish I did heard about it, that I could have go there and voice my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I only heard about it when I heard him on your show speaking regarding it, and that's the first I heard about it. But there's no discrepancy about it with me, with them. But what I'm saying is, when information go out regarding such thing, they need to make sure that there's
accuracy. Yes,
because,
yeah.
Yeah, because people look forward to these things, and we don't have it. So that's just why I wanted to talk.
Yeah, and caller, also it could mean liability, possible liability at the end of the day as well. If someone goes there thinking that they can swim, attempt to swim, and then something happens as well, it could be possible liability if the information that is provided to the public isn't correct.
Yes, because we have one spot there in West End that they have there as beach access, where they fix it up and they put a swing, they put a picnic table. But see, the rocks out there are they're like glass. I mean, you step on them, you're going down. And it's so dangerous. You have to step across those rocks in order to get into the water. And they are so slippery that you cannot step on those rocks. And to me, they should not implement those type of areas because it's a danger and it can cause a problem with possibility of government being sued or whoever is responsible. These things they need to take in consideration before they put them out there and implement them and make people believe they have comfort. That's what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. You have a great day. Please stay safe over in the BRAC as well, folks. I want to thank you all for participating in the discussion this morning. Very useful comments that were sent in as well, and all of those persons who actually called in and expressed their views. I want to remind you that we are brothers and our sisters keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient.
Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Bright. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.